Now we're going to go from the drag to the seat belt. The seat belt, remember, the whole point of the drag is to get us access to the back. That's where I want to be. Now, when we did this, we were stepping in. This is where this is going to make the difference. Let's turn this way for camera angle for everybody else. Here, and I step in. So I've taken this space away, right? Right now, I want to get to his back. If I just try to be greedy and try to move around right now, because now I'm going to step with this foot, right? If you remember the drill when we did this before, the demo that I did. The minute I try to step to take his back, he's also going to step with his foot. So go ahead, and then this is going to happen. You see it? I can't do that. I've got to attach to him to limit his movement. Again, to make that connection with him, to get that friction, to slow him down, right? So to do that, I don't want to go wide. I want economy of motion. I really want to bring my hand in as close to his body as possible, right? I don't want to have to do this because I'm wasting motion. So get off the drag, I go here and I step. As I'm stepping, see how my hand just stays right here with my body? And I'm reaching. As my hips go forward, I'm already reaching for him. Now, hopefully the guy you're wrestling with is wearing pants. If not, we got other things to talk about. It could be a different night though. If he's got a belt, grab the belt. If he's got a pocket, grab the pocket. But if not, just use your fingertips. You can find, Bill always tickles here when I do this to him, grab his hip bone and just get a hold of that hip bone. It's a perfect notch, perfect handle. If anybody's ever rock climbed before, it's one of those little tiny lips. You just grab that hip bone and I'm digging my fingers in and then watch, I'm going to cinch. I've said it over and over again, but I'm just going to cinch by pulling my elbow to my body. I'm taking away all that space. That's my seatbelt. Try to move around, Bill. So my hips are into him. I've got this cinched in, but if I let my hip go, look at it. Good, good, good. Go back. If I flare my elbow out and move around, it makes all the difference in the world to drive my hips forward, keeping that forward, and then keep this cinched in. So now I'm just pulling his body to me. I'm not going to hold this forever. This is a moment in time, but it's getting that position to be able to have it. Try to move a little bit. When he moves, look at how easy it is for me to get around to his back. Okay? But it's because of the pressure that I have. So I want you guys to work on just the seatbelt here. Clear and catch. Step in hip to hip, shoulder to shoulder. Find that hip. Cinch your elbow down. Okay? Pressure check it. Go ahead and pull. Good. Other side. Here. Stepping in, hip to hip. Seatbelt. Pressure check. Good, good. And start over. Ready? Partner up. Let's try it. And what I'm doing is I'm isolating a position that lasts for a millisecond. But what I'm trying to do is make it tight in every single one of those so that it just keeps that constant pressure. It's no secret. That's what I do. I like to put pressure on people, right? Just pressure, pressure, pressure. It just, it changes things. It really does. And again, it gives you that awareness, like I said, and helps control that speed and tempo. Okay? All right. So, all right. So we went from here. I stepped in. I got the seatbelt. Now we're going to go for that body lock or the harness, right? We'll take the harness first. So when I finally decide, and you'll feel that, and most of you probably did, the more he fights, it makes it really easy. What I'll do here, turn, is usually they're trying to turn with this shoulder to rotate back into me. So that's where it's important, just like my shoulder-to-shoulder pressure here, it's my chest or chest here. As he pushes in, I let him push me around. Keep pushing. That's what gets me around, driving my chest into his shoulder. It's like NASCAR, drafting. You get behind and you don't get as much of the wind from the car in front of you because it's braking it. That's all I'm doing, is I'm using his energy to push me around, right? So I'm using the least amount as possible as I drive myself around, and I'm attached to his hip, which pulls me around. So as he goes, you go right to here. I'll use my head, everything that I can to attach to his shoulder. Because if he goes that way, watch, that's beautiful, right? That's what I want. So I've only given him the two. He can either turn in, he could drop down if he wanted, it'd be kind of goofy, or he can go away from me. So if he goes away and he knows it, he automatically gives me what I want. Here, he fights into me, he's still giving it to me, I just have to stay connected so that I can get to the body lock or the harness. Okay? You see it? Okay. So when I go, like I said, I'll start with the harness. You go for the harness, it's going to come across to the top of his head here, the first arm, as I move around. I'm not going to let go of this handle until I have an attachment here. It's like swinging on ropes or climbing, rock climbing. I don't let go of this grip and then grab this one, right? It'd be like doing 2 claps on a pull-up. You know, right? You don't want to do that. You want to maintain control of that. So I step around, I get this grip, now I can reach up. And again, I'm not going to let go of him and do this. I'm here, and I friction. I slide that up his body. Did you feel it? I don't let go. When I do the harness grip, again, you guys probably know it. It's not thumbs, it's thumbless, and it's here. You're doing any other goofy grip, like a lot of times guys will do this. It's really easy to just grab a hold of the back of my hand and push it down and separate it. This is a very difficult grip to break. What I like to do is make it so that the back of my hand is resting here on his shoulder. I'll just turn my hand over right here, and what that does is that gives me control of this shoulder, and I'm pushing my other shoulder in here and making this sandwich here, okay? Now I've isolated that shoulder. It's not loose, correct, Bill? Feel that? Yep, it's here. Go ahead and move. I am not choking Bill, okay? I am getting pressure right here on the upper part of his chest, okay? That's that first grip. So again, I'll line it up. From here, turn, and get that. First one's here. Second one, you're going to see this right shoulder's going to drop. I'm going to pull my elbow down. So I'm just making a bar here that's just holding his shoulders to me. Not squeezing, just holding in place, okay? I want to immobilize his shoulders. I'm not going down low. I'm just pulling my elbow down to make that connection. So now try to move your shoulders, right? Then that final piece is going to be here into his hip. I'm just going to drive my hip into one of his hips. Okay? Try to move around a little. Right? So the whole point here to get this grip, he wants to rotate into me this way, right? Turn. Okay? Or try to rotate that shoulder that way. Good. I'm trying to mobilize the ways in which he can go. I'm not going to stop him. I'm not being married to it. What I'm trying to do is maintain control, okay? Or manage him as much as I can. I don't want him to move around. Go ahead and move around freely. I don't want that. So I get this friction. Maybe it's me saying, get back, get back. Maybe I don't want to go to the ground just yet. Maybe I don't want to take him down because I might have to dive and get out of here, okay? So this is just a moment in time to decide what I need to do, because if I can, or I need to, I can take him down. But I have to be able to hold this position. If I can't, what's the point? If it's loose, he's just going to get out. Go. Now I'm sitting here fighting with him, trying to go for other techniques and get back to this, and I've wasted energy. Do you see it? But if I can control him to an extent, I can maintain this position. You understand? Lay down real quick, Bill. Commonly in jiu-jitsu, what you're looking to do is control the shoulders and the hips, and it's usually opposite sides. If I can get a hold of like a hip and pull up on an arm, especially like in mount, say here, like I'll do a sweep and I'll have like the gi pants and I'll do this, right? Try to move, okay? It's really hard for him now to escape, but if I'm only holding his arms or maybe the same side, go ahead, he gets to an edge. Now he's going to get out. What I'm trying to do is keep 2 shoulders and 2 hips on the ground. When he's vertical, what's the ground? Me, right? So now I'm taking that place to try to pin those shoulders to me and the hips to the mat, or if I can get opposite, shoulder and hip. Make sense? Sit up. So I get control of his shoulders, and especially if I can break that plane, I don't want him to stand upright. That's bad, because look, what did I tell you about takedowns? What do I want to do? Get his head over. Yeah. So if I can press his hips forward, it's not very comfortable for you, is it? Right? So when I have this, it should be a red flag. When I pull this in and cinch it down, do you see I'm already breaking it? And then I bump the hip forward. Now try to move, Bill. right? That's what I want to be able to hold. Eventually, there's something he's going to do. But at any point in time, if, keep going, I just decide, screw it, I'll take him down. But it's because I have him in that alignment. Most of the time I see people get in the harness and they're just kind of like this. Go ahead and move around. Yeah. And then they got to fight for it. So the point being is here. Get it and get him out of place, right? And then if he rotates this way on that elbow, if he rotates the other way, just control his shoulders so that he can't get that mobility back. You see it? A lot of detail. I've said it multiple ways just to kind of drive that point home. End product is here. Drag to the seat belt. Step around. Get your grip. Cinch, hips forward. That's your harness.